So today we're going to talk about the strategy somebody wanted but so then. It is a strategy for summarizing. In elementary school, when we learned about summarizing, we learned that it was really important to talk about what happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end of a story. In middle school, we learned to get a little bit more sophisticated about those summaries. We knew it was important to talk about the exposition and the introduction of the conflict. That means who the characters are and what problems they're facing in the beginning of a story. We learned that in the middle of the story, it was necessary to talk about the rising action, those things that are most important to building up the conflict to the point where the character has to make a decision about what they're going to do. That's the climax of our story, and it happens towards the middle, near the end. We also needed to wrap up our story in our summary and talk about the falling action and the resolution, what finally happens to conclude our story. Sometimes it's hard to know what is most important in the beginning, middle, and end of a story, and we sometimes write too much in our summaries. So this strategy, called Somebody Wanted But So Then, is an excellent summarizing strategy to help us figure out what's most important and not talk too much about what happened in a story. The somebody identifies our main character. It lets us know who the main person is facing a problem in our story. It also helps us understand that character's motivation. What is it that they want that leads to the conflict in the story? The but helps us identify the conflict or the problem. And so, what did the character do to combat that problem helps us think about the rising action and finally the climax, when that character had to make a final decision to try to solve their problem. The then portion is our resolution and helps us understand the actions or the falling action that took place after that final character decision and brought our story to a conclusion. When we think of Somebody Wanted But So Then, we can often take the whole parts of a story and condense it down to one concise sentence that tells us the most important aspects of that story.